Hey, I shouldn't be telling you this, but if you skip this part of the video, you will miss out on the deal of a lifetime. If you click the link in the description, you will see that Atlas VPN are giving out an offer to get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 per month. That's less than Netflix's latest price increase. Plus, it comes with 3 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN on the market, and you can use it to watch shows that are not available on streaming services in your country. So you can watch Friends on UK Netflix, no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a subscription to Netflix. You can even use it on unlimited devices, so everyone in your house can watch Friends on UK Netflix at once. And they keep your searches private, so that we'll all finally stop spying on you. But remember, time is of the essence if you want to get this offer. Just $1.83 per month to get a 3-year subscription by clicking the link in the description below.
Am I the asshole for not taking the option of working from home? I work for a tech company. My husband is an aspiring author. He has had some success and we hope for more in the future. When I got pregnant, I negotiated a full year of maternity leave with my employer. I would not lose seniority or miss out of certain aspects of profit sharing. I'm sorry for being vague, but I know many of our employees are in Reddit, so I am going to fudge some information. In return for the accommodation I made with my employer, I got a month of completely uninterrupted time with my new baby. Then I started taking on tasks from home on my own schedule. On average it was 15 hours or so a week. My husband writes at home, so we decided that he would be the stay-at-home parent, and when I was working he would care for our baby. It was a pretty good arrangement, I thought. And it was for about a month. Then he would start ignoring the baby crying, or claiming that the baby wanted me. That sort of thing. It started to interfere with my deal with my boss. I told him in no uncertain terms that if he kept interrupting me while I was working I would hire a nanny for help, but take the funds out of our fund budget. The budget that pays for dinners out, vacations, and hobbies. He got the point, and I got my 1 to 2 hours of uninterrupted time every day. Until recently. It is almost time for me to return to work full-time. Once again my employer was very accommodating. They were impressed with my ability to contribute meaningfully to my group during my maternity leave. So they offered me a choice of WFH, work in the office, or a hybrid schedule. I discussed it with my husband and he said that I should choose to WFH so I could help more with the baby. I chose to return to the office. I have access to a private room and a freezer so I can store milk. I am able to interact with my team and I enjoy the environment. My husband is saying that I'm being cruel and that my baby needs me. I said I would WFH if he got a job to pay for the nanny so it didn't affect our budget. He said it didn't make sense. I almost said, no shit Sherlock. He wants me to be the main breadwinner while he tries to get published. He wants to enjoy life in an expensive city, and he wants to stay home to write. Some of these desires are mutually exclusive without him stepping up and giving me time and space to earn a living. We just saw his family for Thanksgiving and he was complaining to his mom about me choosing to leave him at home with the baby and returning to work. She started in on me for my choice. I was embarrassed until his dad spoke up and reminded her that when my husband was born she was a stay-at-home mom and housewife. He said that was what my husband signed up for if he didn't want a job. It just became a big argument. Now we are home and I feel bad and he says that he feels emasculated. So we are arguing. I feel like an asshole abandoning him and our baby. And his mom thinks I am. #EDIT. When I say he has had success I mean it. He wrote a novel that he self-published. It was optioned for a movie. It was a lot of money to us at the time. But after the agent and lawyers took their share there was a lot less. And the movie never got made, so there was no more money or publicity for his writing there. Not the asshole. You have given him options. He is the one making it difficult for you to continue funding your home. Not the asshole. He feels emasculated? Apart from the fact that that's just an attempt at manipulation, if his masculinity is that fragile he can fix it by getting a job. So, to clarify, he wants to stay home, not work, and not take care of the baby. Essentially he wants to contribute literally nothing to the household in terms of either money or effort. This is absurd. He is beyond entitled and selfish. You have to work, because nobody else is. If I were you, I'd be telling him I'll compromise by giving him 2 options. He stays home and takes care of baby, or you hire a nanny and he can GTFO because he's dead weight at this point. Your Phil is right. This is what he signed up for if he didn't want a job. He has to pick one. Work or childcare. He doesn't get to just say, neither. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that we cannot afford for me to be her sugar daddy? My M27 girlfriend, 23, is absolutely beautiful. And most of her friends are also physically attractive women as well. And they like to party with rich men they meet. My girlfriend and I have been together for a couple of years. I make a decent living, but I'm not NBA rich. I don't have a trust fund. I'm not an tech millionaire. I just make a very good salary and bonuses. Enough to have paid of a good portion of my house and to have graduated without debt. I want to retire young enough to enjoy my life, so I invest and save most of my money. Not all. I'm still enjoying my life now. I am taking us to an all-inclusive in Jamaica for New Year's. But she is jealous of her friends. They get lavish gifts and they go out for dinner all the time. She loves me and we have plans for the future, but she keeps bringing up all the things her friends get from their make admirers. I finally snapped and said that I could not afford to be a sugar daddy. She said her friends aren't like that. So I pointed out that they literally do not make enough money to support the lifestyles they have. I pointed out that one of them drives a $100,000 Lexus and she works part-time at restaurant as a hostess. She says that I'm calling her friends sex workers, which I would not do, and judging them. So I asked her to explain how her friends afford dinner out at very expensive restaurants while earning minimum wage in some cases. So now she thinks I'm an asshole for making what I feel are apt observations. She asked if I consider her that way because I pay for everything and earn 6x what she does. I told her no. That I'm proud to have a teacher for a girlfriend. But she is still sulking. You have two choices. Sit down with her and have an adult conversation that although she may be jealous of all the gifts her friends get, you cannot get her all those same things. If you're paying for most of the luxuries, bills, whatever, you get a big say on what luxuries are enjoyed. Or you can end the relationship. She sounds a bit immature. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but if she is all about appearances and having nicer things, please know she will ditch you when the person who can afford those things comes along. Am I the asshole for not downgrading the family pre-feast hike on Christmas for my son's girlfriend? Ever since I can remember, our family has always gone on a hike the morning of Christmas. We did it all through my childhood. My husband's family did it. My friends' families are similar, though for some it's just a walk, or some go into the city and do an easy 5 or 10K run. My son Porter has been dating Emily for the past 6 months. I'm happy she's going to join us. They're coming from the city about 3 hours away, so they'll be staying overnight. I've met Emily before and think she's a great match for Porter. I know there's all that hoopla about the mill-dill dynamic and I just have no time for any of that. If Porter likes her and she treats him with kindness, and he the same, who am I to complain? I Skyped with them on Thanksgiving, just making plans for who's bringing what for Christmas, gifts and such, and I mentioned that she should remember to bring her hiking boots, but we'll have plenty of yak tracks if the trails are icy. She was visibly confused and asked what for, so I explained. She got quiet and asked if she had to. I said no, of course she doesn't have to, but we've always done this, and I was surprised Porter didn't mention it. The next day, Porter called, and explained that Emily is not in great shape and would struggle with keeping up, even on one of the easier trails nearby. He said that maybe we can just do a nice short family walk in the neighborhood this year so she feels more welcome. I said that maybe the two of them can hang back and enjoy a nice quiet morning before the festivities begin while the rest of us go for the hike. I remember being young with Porter's father and how special those early Christmas mornings always were. Plus this will be her first time with the family and it's going to be a lot. Porter got annoyed and said I'm not hearing him. He said that he really thinks we need to cut the hike down or make different plans. I told him in return that this is a family tradition that goes back for years, and changing it for one person isn't fair to the rest of the family. We're at a stalemate. I even said that if they hang back for the morning, I'd be happy to go on a nice walk with Emily and Porter later in the day during a quiet moment. He said I'm still not hearing him. Am I the asshole for not being willing to downgrade the hike to a little stroll around the neighborhood? Not the asshole. I hear Porter and don't understand why he thinks his GF's abilities should dictate everyone else's plans and activities. Not the asshole. You offered a choice of doing a walk around the neighborhood later or just letting them hang back. Porter is being ridiculous for thinking everyone should change plans for his new girlfriend. Lol at the YTA people calling a 6-month girlfriend a family member. Not the asshole op. Not the asshole, but an easy 10K run on Christmas morning? You and I live very different lives. Open mouth smile. Not the asshole. You heard him. You also stated that they could go on a short walk after dinner. He's not willing to compromise. Ah, love. You shouldn't have to change years of tradition for one person. And it's okay if you don't. AITA teacher threw away niece's lunch, so I picked her up and took her to get a Happy Meal. I'm 20 female. Babysitting my niece, 4 female, for the week while my sister is on a business trip. My niece misses her mom, so to cheer her up, I put a couple treats in her lunch. Her lunch was 1. A turkey and cheese sandwich with cucumbers and avocado. I also drew some cartoon characters on it with edible markers too. Carrot sticks and ranch 3. Apple slices 4. Cookie 5. Fruit snacks 6. Brownie 7. Juice box. Clearly not the healthiest, but also this is a special treat and she has all 5 food groups. I dropped my niece off at 9 and at 10, snack time. I got a call from the teacher saying I had to drop off a new lunch because my niece's was too unhealthy. I told her to give my niece the fruits or vegetables if she has a problem with the treats, and she told me she threw away the lunch because it was distracting to the other kids. I decided to call the office and tell them that I needed to pull my niece out for an appointment at 11, lunch is at 11:30, and that she'd be back by the end of lunch. So at 11, I picked her up, we got Happy Meals, cookies, fruit snacks, and milkshakes. Then at 12, end of lunch, I dropped her off with her Happy Meal box and her almost finished milkshake. Teacher saw this and was fuming. I guess she told my sister what happened because shortly after, I got a call from my sister saying I was being petty and should have just dropped off a new sandwich. Am I the asshole for pulling my niece out and filling her up on sugar because her teacher threw away her lunch? Not the asshole. The teacher is an asshole for throwing away perfectly good food, no matter what. Not the asshole. So a cookie and a brownie means you toss the whole lunch? The teacher was out of line. Not the asshole. What the actual F? Now kids aren't allowed to even bring lunches with a treat in them? So if you had dressed your niece in very pretty clothes and that bothered the other kids, would teacher have ripped them off and thrown them away and told you to bring ratty ones? I suppose if your niece had been showboating and bragging about, "Oh, look at my awesome lunch," there might be some grounds for teacher to get involved here. Or was this just teacher seeing in the box at snack time? If so, she should have stayed in her freaking lane. Not the asshole. What kind of power trip do you have to be on to throw away a 4-year-old's lunch?